Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to go for the newbies priority list for the season 17. So this time around I did put Tsuki in an honorable mention, so moving forward I'm not going to suggest her, although she is still strong as she was. The issue is now that they have finally updated the selectors, especially those in the Nightmare difficulty, and including Pandora in it and other heroes like Elisha and Sarija Nayushta and Leviathan. It's no longer as like a clear path as before it was. Like now it's much more rewarding to have a paved path with Yorm starting. Instead you would have to get Tsuki 7, then move on to Yorm, have both of them viable, then also start Elisha, and eventually it would lead to benching Tsuki in PvE, and then basically playing with Elisha on one team and the Yorm on the other. So now we're just going to exclude that. Yes, Tsuki start is still very much viable, I'm just not going to recommend it for the simplicity of moving forward and having a more pivotable road, or rather not pivoting at all from the Mystifers or other Tsuki, but instead just strictly going with the Yorm instantly. So what is a event start? Event start is when you start during a phase of the game when there's an active one-time only event, which includes a selector similar to this one, which also has both Tiamat and Yorm in it. Unfortunately, this one doesn't have Yorm, but it's pretty similar to this one, although maybe it's more like a Nightmare one. No, it's actually more like Extreme, I guess, then. So it has Yorm. I'm not sure why they didn't include her in here, but it's pretty much a mixture of the Hell and Extreme selector, which has Yorm in it. So naturally the options were you either start with Tsuki 7, first copy being purchased from Oracle and second one gotten from the free DD selector hero in the event. So that's the best possible way to play this game in my opinion. If you're starting like right now, we have no event that is currently active, so you can't really start that way, and you have to focus on Elisha 6 stars purely from the Oracle shop, which is a nightmare itself because getting those oracles, and yeah, overall I'm not going to go too deep into it, but if there's no active event, my suggestion is to read this start lightly, explore the game, test things out, and start normally on a new starter when there's a new event and start with Yorm 7. That's my suggestion. I have said this to the devs as well and hope they in future improve the beginner's experience. But trust me, the experience starting with event and without is just so big that I'm purely just recommending you to not even bother on an account without event start. Just take it lightly, explore the game, test things out how they work, and when a new one opens you can just simply go to the settings, switch server, you go to the Warzone 33 or whatever it's recommended for you, and you create server there. It's the newest one. You will have active event in the first day of the event. It's like the best decision you can make for yourself and for your future playstyle. So now that we got that out of the way, how to start? You start by Yorm 7. As I said, if not, you go with Elisha 6 and then you move on to Yorm 7 territory. So this is going to be the main path, the middle one, and then the side paths are these heroes on the left and the right side. So regular eventless start is going to be Elisha 6 from the Oracle shop and then Yorm 6 into Yorm 7, and then you're basically where the event starts have started playing the game, but they start instantly with Yorm 7 on like day 4 or 5, whereas you will struggle with this start for like 14 days, if not even longer. It's extremely difficult situation to be in, then hence why my suggestion to just restart when the event happens. So let's assume you did that, you restarted, you're starting the game, you get your 7-star Yorm 1 from the Oracle shop. So if you don't know, you will unlock this game mode called Lost City. You will be able to farm these Oracle tickets in here that you receive every one full clear, so you will be able to farm them up to 100 quite easily, and you will get yourself Yorm from the Oracle store, which is right here, Oracle Temple. You go to the shop and you're able to purchase Yorm in it. You will do that, you will get the second copy from the event and make yourself Yorm 7 stars. Once you have done that, you will be moving on to the, as I called it, the main path. You will be purchasing Elisha 6 stars, so now you're basically switching the order. Instead of suffering through early phase with like 15 days, 20 days, I don't know how long it even takes, to purchase your first copy without event, you're just starting on day 5 with Elisha 6 stars and the Yorm 7 stars, or rather vice versa, with Yorm 7 stars and then you will purchase the Elisha 6 star. Why do you purchase Elisha? Because you cannot clear Extreme 100 in Rift Odyssey. Rift Odyssey is the most important game mode that you will face. It's the most rewarding one, it resets twice per season and it gives the best DD selectors there are to pick up, best rewards, best diamonds and everything related to anything to the game that is important. Well, to beat Nightmare 100, you have to have Elisha. It's a hidden lock, not sure why. It happened a few seasons ago, maybe even a year now. So you can select Elisha from Nightmare 100 selector, but you cannot beat it without her. That's why we're starting with Yorm 7 to have easy Palace Rush events, easy Celestial Rush events, and everything related to that, and purchasing our Elisha 6. Our Elisha 6 will help us beat the Nightmare 100 difficulty quite easily without any issues, so you will use these two heroes plus a Trupus plus Elmer 7 that you have gotten from the Goddess Charles event selector that newbies have, and Day 7 selector for the Valiantors package. And basically those 4 heroes are enough to clear the Nightmare 100 difficulty. Once you do that, you will select Pandora and then purchase another Pandora to have a 7 stars Pandora viable. So the ordering is actually reversed. I should probably do this. Maybe this will be a bit more simple. So you purchase your 7 stars Pandora and then you start on Arcane Dorabella. So for the second team, after you beat Nightmare 100, you will enter Hell difficulty, which has 2 teams. For the 2 teams, you will be using very likely something like Yorm. You will be using Pandora, and then you will be using a Trupus, Elmer, and this is mostly the first team because the first team is the one that actually does need Elmer. The second usually doesn't because the second team is usually the weaker team. And in the second team, you will be using Elisha paired with Arcane Dorabella. And you will also be using very likely Ophelia in this game because you will be getting Ophelia from your hard 100 card. So that's a must have, you have to do that. So because Ophelia, what she does, she converts all of the additional HP stats provided by Elisha into the attack, so she increases your attack massively. And then you have also 2 deviants for the Holy Shields for the Phantom stages. You can even use something like Lamian here. And then lastly, I'm not sure what you will use, but you will figure it out as you go. But these are the 2 main teams you will very likely be running. You might even drop a Cleopatra in here if you have gotten top 5 in the Celestial Trials event rush, which you should have, so you will probably even have something like this for a full team. Or even anything else that you have gotten from the free drops or any other card. Maybe you have Leviathan 7 ready, maybe you have Sarijana Yushta ready. You will slowly keep adding those 2 heroes and replacing the others. So once you have these done, you will have Arcane Dorabella. You will have 2 teams pretty much set for your Hell difficulty and up to Extreme difficulty. You will be needing Leviathan 7, you will be needing Sarijana Yushta 7, and especially Babylon 9. It's important to start Babylon as fast as possible to get her to 9 stars as fast as possible. Keep in mind, we get Hourglass every season, so that means 2 copies is possible in one go, so it shouldn't take more than 2 seasons to get Babylon to 9 stars, maybe on your 3rd season. But yeah, overall, keep in mind you need her 9 stars. So once we have established that this is your full roster, these heroes right here are your full roster for Extreme 100 difficulty, you will be needing them, plus a Fate hero like Hela or Lucifer, or maybe the new one that will be releasing quite soon, allegedly. So after that, you are kind of done for PvE, and then you are moving to the more like PvP territory. Going with Behemoth 7 for the Palace of Penrose pushes in the 3 teams, she's quite mandatory and used there. After that, you can work either on Venus for your materials or start on the Eve for your Tsuki and other Mystifers. As you can see, I have a mixed bag right here, so if you're going Venus, you can also start Loki and Sourceborn Marina. These are the Glorians you use with your Ethereals along with Arcane Dorabella. Then if you start the Eve, you can go for the Tsuki 7. You can go for Tiamat and Ascended Bastard. Odin 8 is here because she's usable in the tombs. You will be using her there, and she's also pretty good for the Mystifiers in the early phases to remove enemy Holy Shield, so you can kind of just one-shot enemies with just Corrode, especially with Eve. So yeah, overall this is more so of a PvP territory. Maybe I could have added like a line in here or something. I will see about that, but yeah, overall this is where the PvP plus PvE territory starts, so this right here. And the last one is just pure PvP. I will actually move Everhand Diana in here because she's kind of in a PvE territory more than PvP. So we're going to move her in here, and although she doesn't really benefit to the Mystifiers, maybe I could swap them, but I don't think focusing on Everhand Diana is worthy. So yeah, overall I think this is more correct than the other because the heroes just down here are like pure PvP, no excuses there. But yeah, overall that's my priority for season 17. Hopefully it's understandable. I'm not sure about it, but I hope it's not confusing. So let's try and repeat everything. If you're starting, there's no active event that offers you a free selector of Yorm. You have to purchase Elisha 6 stars. With Elisha 6 stars, you will try to push Lost City as much as you can. You will purchase Yorm 7 or rather Yorm 6, and by that time I hope there's an active event to give you Yorm 7. If not, then you're going to struggle a lot. Once again, maybe getting Elisha to 7 stars is better, but I'm not sure. As I said, my honest suggestion is just skipping entirely starting the game without event and just taking it as a trial and error and actually starting during the main event. So once that happens, we start with Yorm 7, purchase our first Elisha, beat Nightmare, take our 7-star Pandora from it, and as well as with the copy from Oracle Store, which means we have a 7-star Pandora ready to use in a second team. Then we start on Arcane Dorabella and we use her in the first team or second, depending on how you build your teams. But this is 2 deviants, these 2 can be in second team probably as well. So after you do that, you have 2 viable teams for your Hell 100 difficulty. Adding either Sarijana Yushta or Leviathan will help that up. Babylon you won't be using until 8 stars. At 8 stars she becomes usable in Rift Odyssey because of her ultimate spams. But until then, I don't think you will be using her unless it's for the sustain, because she really does kind of make your team immortal in the Rift Odyssey. After that, you're kind of done for the PvE. When it comes to this game, PvE is really easy, so these are all the heroes you kind of need for it. And for the Abyss selector, I did put Dahlia, but you can also select Mulan. It really won't hurt you. Both of them kind of need 7 stars, although Dahlia does the job at 6 stars as well with a bit of RNG. So yeah, once you're done with that, you're kind of starting with the PvP plus PvE mix territory, which is these heroes right here. They're good in PvP, they're usable in PvE, so you can start with them. It's pretty optional whether you go with the Venus and Glorians or with the Mystifiers with Odin. Do as you please, I don't really have any personal suggestion. They're both great, but both are usable and both are strong. So yeah, after that you kind of move to the more PvP side because you're done with PvE when it comes to heroes, so there's not much to use apart from these heroes in PvE. Everything else is just Lost Cities on specific heroes like Protectors, which you will get Hades and every other hero naturally, slowly from any other selector that doesn't have these heroes that are just like slightly more rare than the others. So yeah, that's the priority list for the beginners. As I said, honorable mention Tsuki start is still viable. If you want, you can still go for the Tsuki start, which is going to be pretty similar to this one, but you can just simply look at the previous season video and see from there. I have explained it there pretty carefully how to play Tsuki and with her start, but I have said the con is you will likely place better in the Celestial Rush with the Yorm instead of Tsuki. And with Tsuki start, you have to build Yorm, so you're kind of just dealing your Yorm team for the PvE by Tsuki. Not that she's unusable in PvE or something, but the Yorm and Elisha are just simply better than Tsuki is. And yeah, overall, it's just more smooth experience in my opinion, more smooth path without having to pivot into these 2 heroes. So yeah, overall, that's my suggestion. Hopefully you understood, hopefully you are clear on how to build heroes now, which heroes to build and etc. Thank you for watching, and yeah, see you in the next one.